For less than the price of a new car, you can own a beach house on 500 miles of Italian coastline that tourists forgot exists. And if you are under 40, the regional government will pay you €28,000 to make the move. Not a loan. Not a tax credit. Actual cash transferred to your account over 3 years while you build a life on the Mediterranean coast at prices that disappeared from the rest of Europe decades ago. Calabria occupies the toe of Italy's boot, stretching from the Tyrrhenian Sea to the Ionian Sea. This is the region that supplied Rome with timber, that spawned the Pythagorean school, that preserved Greek culture when Byzantium collapsed. Today it offers authentic coastal Italian living at prices that reflect abandonment rather than inflation. We examined current property listings across 3 provinces, reviewed the Active in Calabria grant program documentation, verified healthcare through the regional ASL system, and spoke with expats who relocated between 2020 and 2025. We are counting down 7 Calabrian coastal towns where beach houses and fishing communities deliver Mediterranean living for €25,000 to €140,000, with government grants available to qualified applicants. If you assumed Italian beach houses required trust fund wealth, you have been looking at the wrong coast. Hit subscribe and tell us in the comments whether Calabria was on your radar before today. Population around 2,800. Located on the Ionian coast in Cosenza province, 100 kilometers from Reggio Calabria. This is a working agricultural town 15 minutes from beaches that stretch empty for kilometers. The Centro Storico climbs a hill inland crowned by a Norman castle. Stone houses stack against each other along narrow streets. The town maintains its medieval structure without performing for tourists. People live here. Washing hangs from balconies. Average property prices sit around €600 per square meter. A 1-bedroom apartment recently sold for €35,000. A 2-bedroom townhouse went for €52,000. A 3-bedroom house with land listed at €78,000. The beaches lie along the coast road below. Sand and pebble stretches backed by Mediterranean scrub. The water is clean. The crowds are absent except for Italian families in August. The Ionian coast offers warmer water than the Tyrrhenian side. Swimming season extends May through October with genuinely pleasant temperatures. Healthcare connects through Cosenza ASL. The nearest hospital is in Trebissace, 20 kilometers away. Train service requires traveling to Trebissace or Sabari for connections. The consideration is remoteness. Cosenza is 90 minutes by car. La Mezzia Terme Airport is 2.5 hours away. This is not a town for those requiring regular urban access. A British couple from Manchester relocated here in 2021. Their house cost €58,000 with 3 bedrooms and a garden. The beach is a 12-minute drive. Their UK pensions cover all expenses with surplus. The neighbours brought them food during their first week. Population around 450. Located in Aspromonte Mountains 15 kilometers from the Ionian coast. This is one of the last Greek-speaking villages in Italy, preserving language and culture for 2,500 years. The village clings to a mountainside at 900 meters elevation. Stone houses rise in layers connected by staircases carved into rock. Views extend across valleys to the Ionian Sea. The Greek dialect spoken here is Greco, descended from ancient Greek colonists. Street signs appear in both Italian and Greco. UNESCO recognizes this as intangible heritage. Average property prices sit around €400 per square meter. A 1-bedroom house recently sold for €25,000. A 2-bedroom townhouse went for €45,000. A 3-bedroom house listed at €65,000. These prices reflect depopulation. Bova once housed 3,000 residents. Young people left for employment. The houses remained. The Ionian coast beaches lie 20 minutes down winding mountain roads through olive groves and bergamot orchards. Bergamot grows only in this corner of Calabria. Healthcare requires planning. The nearest hospital is in Milito di Porto Salvo, 25 kilometers away. This is mountain village living with beach access, not coastal convenience. The consideration is genuine remoteness. Winter brings snow to Aspromonte. Roads can close temporarily. The village empties further as seasonal residents return to cities. A German academic relocated here in 2020 to study Greco and stayed. His house cost €38,000. He teaches online. The satellite internet works adequately. Neighbors bring him produce from their gardens. Population around 2,600. Located in Reggio Calabria province, perched on Monte Consolino slopes overlooking the Ionian coast. This town holds one of Italy's most important Byzantine monuments at prices suggesting nobody knows this. The Cattolica di Stilo stands on the hillside above town. This tiny Byzantine church dates to the 10th century, its brick cube topped with 5 cylindrical domes. The interior preserves frescoes that survived centuries. This is an actual Byzantine church still consecrated, still used for services. The town rises in medieval layers beneath the church. Stone houses line streets designed for donkeys rather than cars. The Castello Normanno ruins crown the peak above. Average property prices hover around €500 per square meter. A one-bedroom apartment recently sold for €28,000. A two-bedroom house went for €48,000. A three-bedroom townhouse listed at €72,000. The coast lies 15 kilometers away via a road descending through olive groves. The beaches near Monasterace offer sand and calm water. Greek ruins of Kowloon sit down the coast. Healthcare connects through Locri Hospital, 30 kilometers away. Train service requires traveling to Monasterace Marina for coastal line connection. The consideration is that Stilo requires appreciation for what it offers. If you need modern conveniences, frustration awaits. But if you value living among Byzantine heritage with beach access at below used car prices, few places deliver this. An American art historian relocated here in 2022. Her house cost €55,000 with 3 bedrooms, vaulted ceilings, and stone walls 2 feet thick. She walks to the Cattolica in 5 minutes. Population around 9,000. Located on the Tyrrhenian coast in Vibo Valentia province, halfway between La Mezzia Terme Airport and Tropea. This is the town that invented Tartufo ice cream and remained more authentic than the famous resort 30 kilometers south. Pizzo sits on a tough rock promontory jutting into the sea. The Centro Storico clusters around the Castello Murat. The Castle Museum provides views across the Gulf toward volcanic islands. Tartufo was invented here in the 1950s, a dome of chocolate and hazelnut gelato with molten chocolate center. Every gelateria claims the original recipe. Competition keeps quality high. Average property prices sit around €1,100 per square meter. A one-bedroom apartment recently sold for €65,000. A two-bedroom townhouse with sea views went for €95,000. A three-bedroom house listed at €135,000. The beaches stretch on both sides of the promontory. The main beach offers sand and calm water. Smaller coves provide swimming spots via staircases cut into tuff. The town functions year-round. Supermarkets, banks, post office operate continuously. The fish market sells morning catch directly from boats. La Mezzia Terme Airport sits 30 kilometers away with Ryanair and EasyJet connections. The train station provides coastal service. Healthcare connects through Vibo Valentia Hospital. The consideration is that Pizzo attracts Italian tourism. Summer weekends bring day trippers. But this is seasonal Italian activity rather than year-round international saturation. A retired Welsh couple relocated here in 2023. Their apartment cost €78,000, 5 minutes from beach and 3 from the piazza. They eat tartufo more often than is probably wise. Population around 5,000. Located on the Tyrrhenian coast where the Strait of Messina narrows between Calabria and Sicily. This is the Scylla of Greek mythology. Today it offers clifftop views across the strait at prices that seem mythological. The town divides into 2 parts. Chianelli, the fishing village, sits at sea level with houses built directly over water. The upper town spreads between in layers of pastel buildings. Chianelli is where photographs come from. Houses painted in faded pinks and yellows rise directly from clear water. Fishing boats moor between buildings. This is postcard Italy without postcard prices. Average property prices hover around €1,300 per square meter. A one-bedroom apartment in Chianelli recently sold for €75,000. A two-bedroom house with sea views went for €110,000. The beaches require short walks to neighboring areas. Scylla offers swimming from rocky platforms and small pebble coves. The real attraction is the setting. Sicily visible across water that turns colors from turquoise to deep blue. Train service connects Scylla to Reggio Calabria in 30 minutes. Reggio Calabria Airport handles domestic flights. Lamezia Terme Airport sits 2 hours north. The consideration is that Silla attracts summer crowds. The beauty is known, but shoulder seasons restore the village to residents. October through May, you can walk Chianelli mostly alone. An Irish photographer relocated here in 2021. Her apartment cost €82,000 with water views. She photographs the strait in every season. Sicily across the water changes appearance hourly. Population around 2,700. Located inland from the Ionian coast in Reggio Calabria province, sitting on limestone rock 500 meters above sea level. This is one of southern Italy's most important medieval towns. The Cathedral of Geraci is Calabria's largest church, a Norman Romanesque masterpiece begun in 1045. 20 ancient columns line the nave, each salvaged from Greek temples. The crypt holds another 26 columns. The town spreads across the rock in concentric medieval rings. Stone houses line streets barely wide enough for pedestrians. The Castello ruins crown the highest point. Average property prices sit around €450 per square meter. A one-bedroom house recently sold for €32,000. A two-bedroom townhouse went for €58,000. A three-bedroom house listed at €85,000. The Ionian coast lies 10 kilometers away via a winding descent through olive groves. The beaches near Locri offer sand and clear water. Ancient Greek city ruins sit just back from the beach. Healthcare requires planning. Locri Hospital provides emergency services 15 kilometers away. Specialist care means travel to Reggio Calabria. The consideration is elevation. Geraci sits high enough that summer heat moderates. Winter brings genuine cold that stone houses struggle to warm. A Canadian writer relocated here in 2020. Her house cost €62,000 with 3 bedrooms, stone walls, and views across the Ionian plain to the sea. The cathedral bells mark time. Not a single town but a regional program that changes the calculation for every location on this list. The Calabria regional government operates a relocation grant offering €28,000 over 3 years to people under 40 who move to towns with populations below 2,000. The requirements are specific. You must be under 40. You must relocate to a Calabrian town with fewer than 2,000 residents. You must establish residency. You must start a business or register as freelance professional. Remote work qualifies if properly registered. The payment distributes €28,000 over 36 months. Approximately €780 per month for 3 years. This is not a loan. This is direct subsidy designed to reverse depopulation. The application deadline is 90 days from establishing residency. The process requires Italian bureaucracy navigation. Our commercialista becomes essential. The math becomes compelling when combined with property prices. Buy a house in Bova for €45,000. Receive €28,000 over 3 years. Your net property cost becomes €17,000 while you establish a business in an environment with minimal expenses. The program launched in 2021 and has been renewed multiple times. As of 2026, funding remains active. The Calabria Regional Government website provides current procedures. An American couple in their late 30s moved to a small village in 2022 specifically for this grant. They work remotely in tech. They bought a house for €52,000. The €28,000 grant reduces actual cost to €24,000. Their remote income covers all expenses. The grant made the transition possible. 7 locations and 1 transformative grant. From €25,000 Greek-speaking villages to €140,000 clifftop views. From mountain Byzantine heritage to fishing villages where houses rise from water. Calabria offers Mediterranean coastal access at prices that reflect abandonment rather than discovery. A regional government actively reversing depopulation with financial support. Communities that welcome new residents because survival depends on it. If Calabria interests you, visit between September and June. Summer heat is intense. Off-season shows actual life. Drive the coast. Visit mountain villages. Ask about integration and bureaucracy. Like this video if Southern Italy was not on your radar. Subscribe because we find regions where opportunity and affordability overlap. Tell us if the €28,000 grant changes your calculation. Calabria is real. The towns exist. The prices are current. The grant is active. Your Mediterranean chapter might cost less than you imagined.